like this. I'm not supposed to like it. Kind of like it.
Oh, this song.
Can't you cry?
I kind of like it too. Hey.
Die to the edge.
Hey.
All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. But that's like the only good part. That's my problem with it. Like, maybe shout out to my library, and then I hear like everyone actually rapping out like, yeah, like.
Alright, so I guess what's the top name of the game? Like the state of the game.
You wanna do that one?
Yeah. I guess your perspective, because I see you dying slowly deep inside every time I see you play. You give.
Wait, is this the start of the video now, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, so it's like I want to know. Do you want to elaborate on your woe?
On mine? Okay.
Even though you always look like that, but I'm just saying, like, I noticed.
Oh, it looks like I hate the game. No, I always hated the game.
No, you always like shit.
Huh?
You always look like shit.
What?
You always look like shit. I'll just play. No.
I don't respond to that. I was looking motionless, but
you could say like I don't know how you respond to it. Supposed to be clever with it. Yeah, so like yes, you elaborate on like how you've been feeling about it.
I mean, like the game has been going downhill.
Yeah.
From the start of like, I mean, the game's been power creeping since Duelist Alliance, right? You could even say Dragon's a Legend with like Soul Charge,
right, and
all the like power creep cards that came out in that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like yes, like it like I guess you could say it from there, but like it was recoverable. You could see the light at the end of the road, but
right, like Soul Charge was hit, like Curry Bandit got power creep, map petition, right? But it was still going downhill. But then like the ban list would kind of fix it, right?
Right.
And my thing is like, you know, everyone could always say like, oh, you're just complaining about the game. You're like, stop scrubbing out, like, you know what I mean? But my thing is, it was always a point in time which like the game required a certain amount of skill. Right. And it wasn't just, you know,
even I guess even at that point I agree. Even when it was kind of cancerous at the point, you still have to be somewhat skillful, somewhat competent.
Right, like the game has always been cancerous. It's always been like I look at it this way, like there's a tier 0 format just about every summer, every year. So, for example, you had Dragon Rulers. I think Teledad was probably during the summer too. You had Dragon Rulers, then you had, you know, Pepe. Like there was always a tier 0 deck, but then the ban list would hit it. So for and honestly, like tier 0 formats, in my opinion, are the most skillful. Because if everyone's playing the same deck, then that's when like tech cards really matter.
I don't know, man. Pepe was kind of.
It did get an emergency hit. But you know, if I'm playing like, or both our decks are super consistent.
Yeah.
We're playing like, you know, the same deck, like even though it's bad, but you can win through tech cards, and whoever is the most skilled player will win the game, right? Now, like fast forward to today, you just win through like hand traps and just essentially just having the right outs to your opponent, or like if you go first, your opponent can't, you know, stop you with hand traps. Like you'll win off of you'll win off of stopping your opponent from playing, right? Yeah. Like that's what the game is now, and it's not a skill involved with that.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I drew the Maxi, so I stopped your turn, or I drew the Ogre to stop your barrage or whatever, and you don't like, let's say you drew bad, right? You can make your deck consistent, so you drew bad, your opponent drew the one out to it, like a Ghost Ogre or Maxi, like you're done. And then your opponent just, and like my issue with it is like with deck building, consistency doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah, this is if you draw like the right,
right, because like the Zoo deck, for example, you have a bunch of rats that you're playing, along with like the idea is you draw the one barrage or the one Tenki, summon rat, you do your combo, and you draw into hand traps or regular traps. My issue with that is you're playing so many like traps or going second cards like Regeki Dark Hole or hand traps that you could just easily draw that like a first turn 5 cards that are just hand traps or just Regeki or Dark Hole, whatever, and like skill doesn't matter because everyone's like playing that, right?
Yeah.
You'll just be lucky because you drew the 1 barrage or the 1 tenki.
Yeah, it's definitely more.
Or you're like, oh,
based.
cool, I'm going second, and you have like 5 hand traps when you're hand, which like you see that pretty often now.
I mean, I know technically Konami kind of fixed the well, not really fixed it, but they kind of addressed the problem with the other ban list and them hitting Norden. The fact that everybody just keep drawing, and it's like
the problem is not Norden though; it's Zoo.
Yeah. I said the minute Zoo came to the game, it literally I feel like it sucked the life out of the game. I love Zoo for what they are, but
even when Zoo came out, like it was manageable. Now though, we have the triple Ghost Dash or whatever the TCG name is, and. Like you have Ghost Dash and kind of blinking.
Snow and Maxi.
Yeah, I mean just all the hand traps pretty much.
And there's like a lot of hand traps. Like my thing is like a lot of them are like some of them are fair, but some of them like are not. Like for example, I think Snow Rabbit is a fair card because it's kind of like a 1-for-1. But like Maxi is kind of. I
think a lot of people don't understand. Like this is what annoys me. Like Maxi 1-2-1, which kind of validates the idea of like Maxi being a broken card.
Right.
But the problem with like anything like Vanities 1-2-1, or Soul Charge 1-1, like you just skillfully draw it and you win the game. Right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't understand like Maxi versus regular hand trap. Hand traps regularly are at most a +1 typically. But usually, like, they're neutral. They're not going to be, I play Max C and I'm going to have 20 cards at the end of your turn. And with Max C, like, there is no choice. It's the illusion of choice. And so, except for, like, True Draco, which doesn't really special summon, every other deck loses to it. Again, unless you're playing traps. But, like, if you're playing combo deck, trying to, like, have fun, I'm not against anyone that likes to play, like, control decks or...
I mean, like
backrow heavy decks, but
control decks and backrow decks. I mean, they do have their plays, but
like aggro combo decks, like that's part of the game, right? Like that's what I enjoy. I want to be able to play my deck. If you have Max C, like okay, let's say I decide to stop, right? Try to give you as least amount of cards as possible, which like 99% of the time is the correct choice. You stopped my whole turn. Like what are some cards that like stop? Like Imperial Order or like Vanity's Emptiness, just you flip it and your opponent's turn is done. Like if you like Omega Loop them or whatever.
Yeah.
Your turn is done, and now you like you have your 6 cards to just like just poop all over the board. Now the second choice, take the Maxi challenge. If you're going first, like there is no winning because you can't OTK on your first turn.
At least second turn.
And every
push.
And you could say, you set up a board. I mean. Especially now with Kaijus, it doesn't really matter what board you set up. But let's assume you don't summon a card that can negate multiple things like Maturity Beast, which I mean Ghost Ogre and Kaijus can easily out that.
Right.
Let's just assume you don't have that, right? So it's just you have
a field. Assume you're not playing the best deck.
Let's assume like you have a field of 5 negates, right? Like 1 negate per card, right? And let's even assume that you used 1 card for each special summon. It's 5 extra cards. They'll have 11 cards to work with. They could just use like 2 cards on each negate to out it, and that's like best case scenario, right? Like 10 cards, 5 monsters.
I was saying, so you're saying like
even like best case scenario, you have the ability. Your opponent has the ability to use like 2 cards on each of in each monster to out it.
So you're saying like, are we not so you're not including shit. So okay,
I mean there's board wipes too, Regeki and Dark Hole.
So
I'm just saying like best case scenario.
Yeah, okay, right? So we're not really including those in the scenario. We're just saying like
I'm trying to simplify the scenario as much as possible.
I got you.
Most of the time, it's much worse than that. You're going to be using multiple special summons on each of your monsters. Like a Crystal Wing, is going to be like at least 3 special summons, right?
Yeah.
So stuff like that, Infinity, and then especially Zoo. Which like the most skillful thing you can do with Zoo is like if you summon Rat, they'll have to preemptively do it. But let's say you barrage, right? You're really screwed there because you summon your Rat. Do you pass and go with like a -1, technically a -2 because you're putting 6 cards over your 5, or normally you'll summon Dryden to out 1 card, but like you're just such a disadvantage at that point. It doesn't matter. So take the Maxi challenge. They're gonna draw into outs to your board. You don't take Maxi challenge, you're like at a -2 at the very least.
Yeah, because you'll be so far behind.
And people have like preemptively dropped it, like when I play my scales.
Right. Yeah.
And like I'll like normal summon like A Equid B or whatever.
And you have to start making your board, and then they make their board.
Well, like I'll stop there because that's the smartest choice. Or even like in my deck, I'll just summon. ABC.
The point is that they're using like a Vanity's Emptiness. Pretty much.
Yeah. They just stop your turn right there. So,
yeah, like
so Maxi like needs to get banned at the very least, and this I don't know if this how good of a point this is, but like when it was at 3 or 2, you can anticipate it more. And it also kind of keeps the format in check, kind of. Like, it's still a broken card.
I mean, like, my thing is, like, when you have, like, crazy aggro deck that can literally just, like, for example, like, Dragon Rulers, like, you can break boards so easy, so you can afford to, like, not take the challenge or take the challenge.
Right.
So it's
but
like,
back then, the game was much slower.
Yeah.
It wasn't as, like, broken as it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree.
Where now plays are way stronger than what Dragon Rulers could do. Yeah, summoning multiple Big Eyes and Draco Sacks, like, it's pretty good, but
them dragons. Them dragons, man.
And now, like, this song, like, remember we talked about with Craig? Where, before it was like, you could summon one boss monster, cycle back or, like, pass turn, right?
Yeah.
Now you're summoning multiple boss monsters for your turn 1, and you're retaining hand advantage too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like I shouldn't be able to have 5 or 6 cards in hand.
That is
have like Dragon Buster, F-Zero, and Trident.
My thing is like,
and a lot of like in the dinosaur deck they'll have the rank 9.
The fact that
rank 9 Naturi Beast and like Alagia.
Right, and like the fact that hand advantage used to matter, like you could like eventually, say they burn through a hand, you can like outpace them now.
Right.
Now
like Dragon Ruler format, it was all about hand advantage.
Right.
Or just advantage in general.
But now you just ignore the hand, you just focus on the field, field and graveyard, because you're just like.
Because they're just like, pretty good hand.
And then
you go ahead, and then you get your hand back.
It's like you can't keep up with like.
Right.
I mean like. I wasn't like against that type of style. Like I wasn't like
because back then people would always be like talking about overextending.
Right, and that
doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist anymore at all. That's amazing.
Which goes back to like there is no skill left in this game.
No, I think it makes more focus on like participating what opponent outs they have because I think I like the fact that you can have like comeback hands, because it gives the opponent a chance. Yet again, it can award bad playing. Mm-hmm. Like the opponent is like burns the hand, shits with the hand, is get a brand new hand, like immediately just top deck into like a desires and
even though you can try, but even if you can try to break through that, first of all, if they have Maxi or any hand trap along with their board and them going first.
Yeah, that's
Exodia, like they win at that point, right?
Yeah,
but the other thing is like yes, there's you can break boards sometimes, right? Like I've done it before it happens, but the norm is you're in very much a losing position and you're probably gonna lose.
And for me,
and that's not fun to play the game.
Yeah.
Like when if I play like 10 or 20 games, and like I don't know, like 10%, 20% of those games I actually enjoyed playing. Very back and forth, very skillful. Like that's not a good game design.
Now imagine this. Let's say, you showed your board and then you attain hand advantage, and then I out your board and I attain hand advantage. Like
that's kind of like what Dragon Rulers used to do,
right? Like
I think that's very much back and forth.
Right. Like I think we can keep that aspect of it, but my thing is just like, when you have like you have just all these easy stops for like your entire like turn and for your entire like I think that in floodgates, for example, I think that's more of an issue for me personally. Like
the Imperial Order, like I don't know why they didn't write it differently, or they brought it back.
As it didn't make any sense. Like my thing is like, okay, you could have Imperial Order is one thing, and then another thing whereby what's a dumb card that gets on my nerve like Tyranno, it's stupid. Masterpiece, it's stupid. My thing is like the problem is like towers it's a huge problem, and they keep making more and more towers and making them easier and easier to summon, and it's like, I mean, yes, it's not a floodgate, it's a boss monster, but the fact that you could just, I mean, well, True Kings, so True Dracos by itself.
By itself, I think it's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. When you put like zoos and all the other crap with it and dinosaurs and.
But especially the actual tier 1 deck, which is Demise Dracos. I think that is the worst. Like you have triple duality,
that's
triple card Demise, 2 or 3 Pot of Desires.
Them constantly keep printing out dumb cards.
And then their themed Super Rejuvenation.
Them Konami constantly keep printing out dumb cards, and I
like
think
that deck the most. I think rewards just like thoughtless playing.
Yeah, you could just
you just like, oh cool, set.
It's literally Cleese and Monarch's got a baby, and it's like, there you go. And it's like, and they literally playing like they could play literally every floodgate in the game.
Right, and like even if you out it, right, top deck duality into card Demise into Power Desires, like. And
on top of it, they could play
the field spell, Monarch field spell.
The Monarch field spell. They could play what's the what's that trap? Imperial Order. Yeah. They could like tribute away if it's annoying.
Right. Yeah.
It's stupid. Like they could play skill drain just because. Like Masterpiece could be unaffected by it, and whenever they're tired of it, they could just send it to the graveyard and like use it as like a fuel. And I think them Konami printing out dumb cards, and I don't know. And the way how they're treating their new mechanics, like before, I don't think. I guess you correct me if I'm wrong. I
talking about Link format.
I guess Link, pendulums, the way they roll those out were kind of wasn't very stable. Like people.
Yeah, because Cleese as the first like competitive pendulum deck being like
ridiculous.
Yeah,
like it was way too.
And then Pepe too, like
right after that. I think the way they roll it out, and then like the fact is like, every time you release a mechanic, they wreck the game. Like, and then like they release like another mechanic that can.
And the main problem with Links, even though like I was looking forward to it, but it's changing. It's forcing you to play Links as opposed to pendulums. You could just play your deck. Yeah, it's optional.
They were optional. I mean, like, keep in mind if you wasn't playing Pepe or Cleese,
and even from a business standpoint, like people would want to play pendulums, especially how splashable they were made into decks.
Yeah, and they can make like old decks great, and like like I was excited for Pendulum Gadget. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But then Cleese were like, oh, no one's playing anything. No one's like I don't.
That's the thing I hate the most. Like. I enjoy, again, back and forth games where, like, I throw my monsters at you, you throw monsters at me. And especially, like, thinking ahead, 1 or 2 turns ahead.
Yep.
And figuring out, okay, even if I get rid of this board, or maybe sometimes what do I leave out on the field, if it's not a big threat, or depending on, like, what their next combo could be next turn. So that's what I enjoy the most. That's, like, the type of games I enjoy.
Yeah, that's what I really like about Yu-Gi-Oh! That and, like...
And, like, that's very seldom now. Like, it's, it's not common. And now it's, summon as big of a board as possible. Even if you don't retain hand advantage. If your board is good enough, if you have the exact out to your opponent's hand, you win. And that's just rewarding, overextending. But that's, like, what the entire game is now.
Yeah. Yeah,
and again, it's not complaining. Like, it is complaining, of course, but it's, I think, complaining with actual merit now. Because, again, we had a lot of stupid formats. And I complained about it here or there, but I still played. Like, it was not that bad, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Even the Tier 0 formats. Like, I guess Pepe was pretty cancerous.
Yeah, Pepe was really bad.
But overall, like, again, they hit those types of decks pretty soon. So, for, like, the 5 years that I played, like, coming back to the game and playing it.
In my thing, I felt like they hit that deck wrong. And
because they hit a lot of, like, I don't think they should have hit Lesser Pendulum. That's just my opinion. But
like, they could have hit, like, like Ariadne to 1. They could put Strike to 1, cut that thing, and they could get rid of with that thing,
the fire,
the Telenite guy, plus fire.
Yeah.
Then I needed to go.
I don't know what this is gonna be a tangent, but like I don't know why Plush Fire got hit, and also the hand trap one, the damage juggler.
Yeah, that one I didn't get the damage juggler.
Right, but I don't want to concede it because people will disagree with it.
I'm still Plush Fire because it was a poorly designed card because it wasn't once per turn.
I thought damage juggler was fine.
Yeah,
especially because it stopped OTKs.
It burned decks and
it evened out the format. Like I'm not gonna play Scarecrow or Battle Fatal to stop.
Yeah. I personally thought Plush Fire. Plush Fire. Yeah, this is his name. Plush Fire was fine. I think the problem was with not Plush Fire. What's the one that searches damage juggler?
Oh, damage juggler. Yeah.
Sorry. Damage juggler is fine. I thought that Plush Fire was bad because it was
terrible design.
Yeah, it was not once per turn. You could keep abusing it.
If it was just triggered as a monster, that'd be fine.
That would have been fair. I didn't make it like a hard once per turn. Like that would have been okay. That would have been like a cool little mechanic. Sky Iris when after you summon it.
Right.
That'd be a cute little thing to do. But
again, like over these 5 years, like things got pretty bad at certain points, but it either reverted back or you can update your deck, deal with it. Like it was still amount of skill in the game. There was still sometimes like back and forth games.
Yeah, it wasn't
that bad.
Yeah, it was tolerable.
I think now is kind of the lowest point in my opinion, just because you're rewarded for using up all your advantage because you just get it back, and you also just summon a board that's so big that it just doesn't matter. Like every individual monster is so powerful, it can negate or protect itself or whatever, and it's just.
I mean, even with this hand right
like
here.
Even with Masterpiece, yeah. Like even if they kaiju you, right? Like it doesn't matter honestly, because you just have so much advantage to come back, and then you can in the True Draco Demise build just top deck,
Yeah, it's
really anything.
One card.
Draw a card.
And I think that was my gripe with zoos. You just you fight so hard against it, and they just top deck one barrage, and then it's
Terror Top or whatever.
Yeah, and it's game over. It's well, crap. He builds entire border for one card. I thought that was,
which I don't understand why. OCG hit him pretty hard, pretty quickly. But for us, they're trying to keep him around for the longest time. I don't understand why Broad Bowl is still around.
Honestly, I don't even know why. I don't even know why they I don't even know why they print zoos in the first. Yet again, bad card design.
Right. Why Broad Bowl's just generic ring 4.
Right. They could have. My thing about I think it's more. I think it's the whole mechanic of zoos. The Broad Bowl thing is having a searcher for your deck. That's not a bad thing, and I feel like the fact that.
But again, they do this with every most broken deck of the format.
Right, my thing is
but then they ban it.
My thing is they intentionally make it powered.
Right, they intentionally do. I'm just saying they'll hit it later on. This time they're not hitting it. All the decks we have,
that's true.
Previous ban lists, previous 2 ban lists, they've been trying to hit Zoo, but it hasn't done anything. They haven't actually hit it the way that they're supposed to, just the same way they did with Pepe or G-Rulers or whatever. Or Cleese, whatever deck was Tier 1, not Tier 0.
Yeah, they left BAs alone for some reason, too.
We have Zoo, we have Dinos, we have True Draco, what else? It's just so much broken stuff. And if there was a level of skill involved, I'd be fine with it.
Right.
If there was a level of deck building involved that didn't just involve splashing in the Zoo engine, I'd be cool with it.
Have you seen some of the Zoo decks? It's just literally just just throw some random ass
literally anything. Yeah.
Throw in all the hand traps.
Exactly.
And throw in just 3 barrages, 2 rats, and to whatever zoo you want, and then
I told you this. One dude's playing a pure Zoo.
Uh-huh.
He was playing Maxi, triple Ghost Ogre, 2 Ghost triple Ghost Oak, 2 Ghost Dash, 2 Drill and Lockbird. Then he's playing Regeki and like 2 Dark Holes. And then like
it's like half your deck. It's like quarter of your deck is brick already.
Exactly. Now a lot of people won't see it that way, but if you go first, like, what's your choice? You pass, and then you get to stop your opponent from playing, and then like, oh cool, top deck into a tanky.
Yeah.
But like that's my point though. What's the level of skill involved with all of that,
that's
right?
True. That's true.
You don't have to worry about consistency anymore. Just throw in a bunch of cards that are broken.
Or
and then just get lucky, you draw that one card you need.
Yeah, the whole mechanic with XYZ with like one card thing, and then you got like a monster that like summons itself from the deck, and you go overlay with it again, and then I don't know why they thought that was a good idea at the beginning, and I feel like you're just dicking on zoos, but I think the problem is like deeper than that. Like I think the game was kind of getting a little stale.
It was definitely getting stale.
Like even like before zoos coming along, because it's like, I don't know, man. This whole thing of like preventing people from just bury a statue there. The fact that that's a thing. Like you could just this dude. He literally just draw. I'm playing this dude, right? And then he literally just opened up with one berry statue and like one back row, and then he had the rest cards in hand. I play a scale. He goes ash. I try to draw from lizard draw. He
Ghost Dash
lizard draw, and
then a Geet Turtle.
Geet Turtle. And he snow ogre something else.
Yeah.
And then he had a strike set or something. And I was just I summoned something and then I couldn't beat over this thing, and I was like, okay, I finally draw a silent monster.
Right.
So then he's normal summon he top another barrier statue. He's normal summon critical shit.
And the thing
so
is,
I beat over one of them.
Yeah.
And then I got past her. He top decks a Regeki and just drops it. And I was just like.
The thing is, that existed before,
right?
And I had no problem with you'll see it in first couple rounds
but
in a regional whatever.
I feel
but now every deck is like
that's
the problem.
That's what I feel like.
Everyone's got the hand traps. Everyone's got barrier statue cards that just prevent your opponent from
decks like that makes dinosaurs tolerable. I feel like honestly.
Dinos are super aggro, but mermaids were super aggro forever.
Right, it's
it's still something you can deal with because they still let you play.
Right. That's true.
They give you a choice. They give you just give you a chance.
But I hate that the Earth True King with a passion. I don't think I tell anyone that that card. You just you summon it for free. You trigger all your shit for free, and then look at your opponent's deck for free, and then knock out all their key cards. And it's just
Ultimate Conductor is my biggest problem, but
it's the thing is okay, Ultimate Conductor is strong, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they can take out the outs to your Ultimate Conductor in your extra deck.
That's true, yeah.
That makes it worse. It's just
also crap. There's no way to stop the Earth True King except Max C, but it's an evil versus an evil.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you just have to draw it. Stuff like that is just.
Yeah, so it's last local, right? I was playing I came play for fun. It's new format, right? New format. First round, game 1, got Max Seed, right? Now he preemptively did it. I just summoned a monster, set up back row, and pass turn, right? But then he still ends up winning. I think he's playing True Draco. He just kind of grinded out, but I was already at such a disadvantage that it didn't matter. Second game, I had a kind of a mediocre hand. And I was okay, I got the barrage. I play barrage, Ghost Ogre.
Okay.
Because I have a mediocre hand, that stopped my play again.
Yeah.
Next turn, I play another barrage, and he Ghost Ogres it again.
Wow.
So that was my first round, right? Second round, I got a free win because he left. Third round, I was playing against a friend, kind of playing for fun, but again, game 1, he had Max C. Kind of same thing happened there, I lost. And then game 2, he went first, or game 3, sorry, he went first. So game 2, I was able to play and do kind of my cancerous turn 1 board.
Right.
So I won that game because he didn't have hand trap and I had just a combo hand.
Right.
Game 3, he went first. He did a zoo combo and he set up like 2 back rows. So on my turn, I think he had a solemn strike and he had the continuous trap that like pay 1,000 pop spell trap as many times. And again, since they're friendly,
so many
since they're friendly, he's like, hey, I have this. Like, do I win? I was like, yeah. Like, I look at my hand, like, yeah, I have like a bunch of scales. I don't have any outs to it. And then he like also shows his hand. He had like 2 Ghost Dash and a Ghost Ogre.
It's like, my thing is like,
there's no like, how do you play around that? There's
See, my thing is like, I guess you could say I'm jealous, a little salty, because like I've tried playing like that before, and it's just like mostly it was like siding, and I would like siding a bunch of hand traps, and like I would brick all the time. I like would. Yet again, the hand traps back then wasn't as powerful. I think the only powerful. I had playing like Valor and like the Maxi.
But if you're playing very combo heavy deck, like that doesn't work. But even if you're playing like Zoo, which plays off of 1 card, like that's the whole like reasoning behind it, right?
Yeah,
but if you're playing, half your deck is like hand traps and traps.
I think that's it. The fact that you can literally just play, you do your whole build your entire board with this one card. Right? I think that's it. I think because
if combo deck Zoo was out of the picture, then that would be less of a problem because people would be playing, where they're playing like a stun deck, which it is what it is. But like if you're playing a combo deck, you realize how easily you can brick.
Right.
And that's where deck building becomes more of a factor.
Right, and skill becomes more of a factor too. And like you can play all the hand traps in the world, but then if you have nothing to back it up with, like you're not playing either.
Right.
So it's like back then, I guess you stop me 1 turn, but like you can't do anything because you have a fistful of hand trap. Unless it's Maxi, then.
Maxi is just the 1 card. Like I already explained this, just the 1 card. I call it the 1 card Exodia. Craig knows Maxi. This. Like when we play friendlies, I just like show me the Maxi if you draw it. We'll just go to the next game.
He did the same thing on me. Just like just drops a random one. I'm just like, I got the Maxi Kenroy. Just like
again, back then, like take the Maxi challenge, played skillfully out there, like OTK or like figure out, if your opponent's playing a certain deck, like Teller Knights, you can take the Maxi challenge. And
they can't.
Their plays are always going to be the same as they don't have like a plan B, plan C type of thing.
Yeah. The worst thing they could do is like.
So you could kind of play around and stuff like. At this point, there is no choice with Maxi, and I've already like played around before. There's nothing, ooh, I learned, something new with playing against that. Like, there's nothing like that. Let's just go to game 2, game 3. Like if you have the Maxi, that's Exodia in my case.
There's nothing you could, like they literally just play like, especially this Kaijus. And I understand what Craig was talking about. The fact he was saying like he was asking the question whether Kaijus are like are fair, and the fact that they could just be main decked in like any and everything. And I'm just like, well, it keeps tower monsters in check. But yet again, if you come with like stuff like Maxi and things like that, it's kind of like they can't kill you this turn. All I'm doing is give you
it's just such an easy out.
Yeah, so it's
because you can literally like the most broken board you can think of, like the most realistic board you can think of, and just like Kaiju like an Achuri Beast and then like Regeki Dark Hole, right? Or if they got like they got an Infinity or something that can negate Dark Hole, just like add a Chalice to the mix and you're good. And these are not cards that like people don't play,
And like, so I guess for the record, like since we're both like aggro players, it's not like all the aggro players not getting any love. This is why the game is bad because there's no aggro players. I felt like the point is like there's no balance. Like like for like cards like I think what's that card called? Barrage? No, the card that like you flip it and then you call like XYZ pendulums or
Dimensional Barrier.
Dimensional Barrier, like stuff like that. Like
that's the card I was trying to think of, which like you just flip like end their turn basically.
Right, but yet again, like you have to know your opponent, know how your opponent playing. Like for example, if I'm playing something like
and you can build your deck around it. But It still depends. Like some decks just can't though.
Right. I guess if you're playing like a straight XYZ build.
Right.
Like for example, this one. I guess if they flip Dimension Barrier and they call pendulums,
good,
I can still. I can
most
still
pendulum
XYZ.
decks
I can still
are
fusion.
fine.
Yeah. So I can still. Like with Metaphors, I can still got fusion.
Perhaps like Shadal's or something, which are pretty linear in their summoning mechanic.
Right. Yeah.
Which I mean, even if you're synchroing,
I feel
like DDDs, you got to fusion to synchro and Xyz. So
I do prefer that card over stuff like Imperial Order.
Yeah.
Because at least it's just once one turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I prefer Trap Stun over Roll of the Decree because I feel like
which is funny because you would think that like a continuous trap card, which stays on the field, right?
Would be easier to get rid of.
Would be easier to get wouldn't be as broken as a card that you can only use once, right?
Right.
If it stays on the field, I understand. It can MSD it, Twin Six or whatever, right? But you can't it's a bad justification saying
you can't search out. If you can search MST,
if you can search, but they're not always gonna have it. Like that's a justification where bring back any broken card because there's an out to it. But anyway, it stays on the field. Why is that more broken? Because it stays on the field and you actually have to get rid of it than something that just you flip it once, it's done. Goes
right. I mean, worst case scenario, you could just pendulum summon and then the turtle was later turn.
Yeah.
Or have your hand traps.
Right, which I've done before. Yeah.
Right. It's playable, and I think it'd be fair if the floodgates were only limited to that, and then just make them either if you put them at 3, make them have a life point
another
cost,
problem,
or have them put them to 1.
Yeah, another problem with back row in general is when with the whole overextending and just putting everything on the board. Right? We have Reki and Dark Hole, but
for monsters, so we have
nothing for back row.
Right.
And you could say, monsters float. Well, now we have a lot of back row cards that do float.
Yeah. So I feel like is a lot of disbalance. I feel like the game is favored towards back row control deck.
Mm-hmm. And there's nothing to keep that in check.
Right.
With monsters, we have Regeki, Dark Hole, Kaijus, everything.
And to be fair, and there are formats that are just completely aggro based.
Right.
And I think it's pretty much just Konami just not, building the balance right and not releasing good cards.
You can have it where you can, balance between the two, or the way, Twin Twister was released, but it's a neutral as opposed to Regeki and Dark Hole. Mm-hmm. You could very much, errata a lot of these cards. They're errataing the wrong cards, honestly. They're bringing cards back. Why not errata Heavy Storm, where, if your opponent has, 3 or more cards or 2 or more cards in their back row, or I don't know, they gotta have the same number of monsters as back or something fair, right?
Well, give it a life point cost,
or something like that, right? Pay 1,000 for each card you said, or something like that. To keep something in check, but not be broken towards we'll just play aggro decks because Heavy Storm's around,
right?
And then Max C, errata Max C, where put a max limit on it, or
2 cards or something like that.
Yeah. There was other things I never talked about before, but just errata these cards to be fair,
or just not print them. They could just make a balanced game by not printing dumb cards. Zoo didn't have to be the one. I mean, you could do the 1 card thing, right? But then don't make the Zoo effect so busted. Mm-hmm. Try to balance out somehow. Don't.
Yeah, 1 card shouldn't be able to summon another level 4 to the field. All through a special summon if you have Barrage, right?
Yeah.
Or Cherry Top when we had it. All through 1 card, a special summon. You could special summon level 4, you could search, and you could summon a card that could pop a card, and on your opponent's turn, pop another card. So.
Yeah, because I felt like...
And actually, off of 1 card, with the whole... Because when we had 3 rats, you can make a rank 4, like Emerald, but now, you can use... What's that name? Where you pop it to summon a level 4 back from the graveyard? Ram.
Yeah.
Zodiac Ram. Now, off of 1 card, you can summon a rank 4. So, just the stuff you can do off of 1 card is insane.
Yeah, I wish they...
And again, I wish I was complaining just because I was bad at the game, and I'm just, why...
Well, yeah, you actually have a couple,
But it's not even that. I wish I was just complaining for the sake of complaining. But honestly, Like which I've done before, and we've all seen like other people complain.
Right? Yeah.
Like I'm gonna leave the game. Oh, this game sucks. Like we've been through that like multiple times.
Right.
I think at this point, it literally like it's legitimate this time. The game has really sunk into the lowest point, and Konami like is not doing anything about it. And we're already seeing like even with links. I mean, in the OCG. In link format, they're not using links. They're just summoning Masterpiece, setting 5 background, passing turn.
Mm-hmm.
Like links is not affecting anything, and even with aggro decks, you can still summon like 3 Quasars and stuff. Like the combos are still there. The problem is you gotta go around and like use link monsters to get to where you need to be. Which like the biggest problem, especially for aggro decks, was extra deck limits. We've essentially went from like up to a lower extra deck limit.
Yeah.
Because now you have to play links, and
especially
currently they don't have anything. Like I'm sure we'll get links that are like, oh cool, it's like synergetic with my deck, or I actually want to summon links to because they have like some effect like was that Doomfire Dragon or something?
Yeah.
Like a Firewall Dragon,
yeah.
Like something that you actually want to summon and keep on the field instead of using it as like synchro ladder material, So it's like just Konami's not doing anything about it, even though it looks like they're trying, but they're not going about it the right way. So I just don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of
like I've gotten to the point where I just barely play at this point.
Yeah, and the fact that you got cool decks, like for example, like this, like you can't, it's not playable.
Mm-hmm.
You can't play this deck. Period.
Yeah, like the strongest deck I've built ever is just it loses because Maxi and hand traps are around because everyone can just some Masterpiece set 5 back or
and then
like I can go first, but if you got Ghost or Ghost Sash,
I feel like during link format, those decks be like even stronger.
Even stronger. That's the point. Yeah.
Because like you have to go through another loop with it.
Dinos and True Dracos like.
They're just fine. It's
and then all of our decks get hit, like not just our everything around it,
So you have to play True King, True Draco, or Zoo, like.
And I'd be fine if that was like, it's just a tier 0 format. We're just we'll get through it, but it's like been like 6 months, a year.
It's been the same.
It's been the same damn format, yeah. And True Dracos.
And links haven't even hit yet. Not even here yet. Right. So like we're gonna have like another
format.
Of
like,
just
we know until August is when Konami will release another ban list. Like not until August. So
yeah.
And at that point, like they haven't had a good track record. Like they're not gonna do a good job at it. If they do and turn things around, like I hope they do, but.
I mean,
historically,
I'll sit on the sidelines and watch.
Right.
And if they do find a way to compromise and fix the game, I'm definitely gonna come back full force. But right now, I'm kind of like, just sticking casually or whatnot because it's not fun anymore.
I think a lot like the people that are playing at this point. I feel like the ones that just are playing just to win.
Yeah.
Which is like fine. Some people are competitive and that's what they want to do. But I think, like, even myself, like, I think we're all pretty competitive when it comes to, like, games and stuff, and I would want to, not win off of luck or lose off of luck. I want to control it, like, I want to win off of skill, or I want to have control over, like...
I want to feel accomplished, that, okay, I actually did this.
Right.
Versus, this deck is doing this for me.
Right, like, rolled a couple dice and, like, get first or regional. Which, like, people do, pretty much,
Yeah.
To just like, I just slapped this deck together and misplayed a bunch, but like I see people that like top 8 regionals, and I play against them or watch them play, and they're like no offense to them, but like they're terrible players. Like they just don't, they misplay a lot, or like, well, you could have like done this and that, and like gained way more advantage.
My thing is, and their deck does one thing, and they can't even.
Yeah. Like Ghost Dash, like they'll just drop it at some random thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Even though it actually worked on me one time, because I think I activated like Rotor, I think the guy Ghost Dash, and I was like, well,
you actually needed that.
I was like, yeah, I guess I actually needed that.
Right.
But I thought he was gonna. I mean, even though he knows I play like I play Joker, I play all these other search cards.
Right, the one that's way more powerful.
Right. You just like Rotor's like
yeah. Like terraforming, I understand. Like I'd go neutral with that.
Yeah,
with like diagram and like.
Well, I think I'll wait for the diagram though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's up for debate, but
wait, you have to.
because Ghost Sash doesn't destroy.
So it leaves it there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So I want to go neutral.
Yeah.
And stop the turf.
Never mind. Yeah. I would get rid of it then.
Well, it's like that's why a lot of people play drone lock, which I understand. But again, that goes to that whole going first conflict. And
but drone lock, I think you have to search first, and then it locks
right.
out. So
then you go -1, but it's a very strong -1, so I can respect Drone Lockbird. Like I respect Drone Lockbird, Book of Moon, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but maining it, like if you're maining it, is just I don't know, dude. Like if that's only 2 defensive cards or 3 defensive cards you play, like I guess that's fine. But
I guess call me jealous and get people just slapping this shit together, and then they just like, oh, I was undefeated in like a 1,000-man tournament.
Yeah.
I was just like,
and even like the good players like Billy Break. I was telling you how, like, because he was playing Inferno Zoo for the longest time, like 60 cards. And, you know, he, like, won, like, YCSs and stuff, right, from that. And then afterwards, like, you know, someone was like, hey, why aren't you, like, playing Inferno Zoo anymore? You know, I thought you really liked it. He was like, yeah, like, I kept playing it, and it was like, I just ended up bricking, you know, having to get bad hands. And
wonder why.
I'm like, dude, it's so obvious you can brick with a deck. But obviously, you can also get like very lucky and
like,
draw.
I mean, like it's especially that deck is pure luck based, and then the fact that he was like
any 60-card deck.
The fact that he was overly defensive over someone pointing out, hey, that's a luck based deck.
Right.
He was like
super defensive over, and then he's being hypocritical. And be like, oh, I started breaking. No
like,
big deal.
He's like, no, I play 60 good cards. There's nothing.
60 good cards.
Yeah, it's like,
what the hell are you breaking with?
Yeah.
Oh, you drew all Infernoids. Of course you're gonna break, like. But yeah. But I hope to see the game turn around.
Yeah, me too. But
I'd love to see like what other people think of the format. Mainly the ones that are like, you know, you're not just playing. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but like if you're not just playing, you know, to win. And if you like, 'cause some people admit they're not as skillful at the game, playing wise, or not skillful deck building.
Right. I mean, some people.
But that's like, as long as you admit it, like I'm fine with that.
I mean, if you're working on it, you got a team. You know, you guys working together, coming up with some cool ideas and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yet again, right now the game doesn't promote that. It just promotes, oh, make sure you have a barrage and a handful of hand traps.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like, oh, I hope I draw Max C. It's like okay, yeah. Like,
it's like, yeah, it's that one, but people always draw it.
It's like, oh, did I win dice roll? Okay, well, I hope I don't. I hope I don't draw Maxi. Oh, I lose the dice roll. Hope I draw Maxi.
Before it used to be just dice roll format, and now it's dice roll plus. Let's see who got hand traps or not, or who like bricked or whatever.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think so. We got. Oh, guess we got signed up.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's the end, probably the end of our discussion video. This
is a long one, but I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Both need to get some stuff off our chest.
Yeah, we released it have this shit uncut.
Yeah, I don't care.
But
do you want to talk about like what our channel plans are? Because we haven't posted in a while.
Oh yeah, you could.
I mean, like my thing is like. I'm not playing as much. I don't know how much you're still playing. I know you sold some stuff already.
Yeah, I sold like a bunch. I sold like 95% of my Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. So I'm getting ready for know you could get in.
Like I'm definitely not as passionate about the game before. Before I like enjoyed recording games at locals, doing like Yu-Gi-Oh Pro replays, deck building, discussion, that sort of thing. But
I mean,
at this point, like I'm not. What the hell am I gonna build?
Right. That's how I feel.
And what the hell am I gonna like put up on the channel? Like me getting Max C. Like there's
Yeah, but like, that's exactly how I feel. But however,
I don't want to end the channel necessarily.
Right. Me neither. I'm like I do have some like ideas. Like I think, for example, like I'm working on a combo video that I'll probably get up next week. But we probably won't be posting like regularly anymore until the game like heals.
It might not be meta relevant. Probably won't be. We're still like competitive casual players. Like from a mindset, we're competitive players with the casual perspective of like like deck building in terms of like being creative at the game.
Right.
It's not just about winning.
Yeah,
you can do both.
I guess what we're trying to say is don't expect a video every week because it probably won't happen. But like, odds are we're gonna put some stuff on there.
And like Drew, like DP Yu-Gi-Oh,
mm-hmm.
like I still enjoy talking about the game and
probably start making more discussions or whatnot.
Yeah, just like there's still like strategy stuff I like too.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really shared a lot of that stuff. So I feel like we both should, talk about that sort of thing.
And definitely we could talk about like, link stuff and you can see update tabs or whatnot on I guess what people say links will do and we show you the reality of what they're actually doing. And like in TCG, I guess you look at OCG and it's like they're not doing anything right now,
but if things turn around with the game and it's actually, at the very least, if it's playable, in terms of like the way we see it, like and it's actually fun and deck building, and strategy skill, and all that. Like I would definitely like want to like rebrand the channel and do updated content over every week.
Obviously.
That's the plan.
Well, this your boys from Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck. We're signing out.